This is the plaintiff, Edward Page Jr. He says he was on his way to work in his new car when the inattentive defendant rear-ended him with such force he crashed into the car in front of him. The defendant was 100% at fault. His car's now worth less than it was when he bought it due to the defendant's negligence, and he's suing her for the $2,700 difference. This is the defendant, Lauren Ives. She admits she was going too fast to stop with the traffic in front of her and crashed into the back of the plaintiff's car. Her insurance deemed the accident to be her fault. They paid the plaintiff for his repairs, and this case was settled. Now that guy's turning around and suing her personally for the decreased value of his car. Is he serious? She feels this is a lame attempt to extort additional money out of her, and the plaintiff should be ashamed of himself. She is accused of hitting a guy where it hurts.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says he got rear-ended so hard he was pushed into the car in front of him. Now, the defendant says, yeah, she was going too fast, but her insurance paid. It's the case of, you really hurt my rear.
Okay, Mr. Page, you were suing Ms. Ives for diminished value of your vehicle after an accident that you folks had back in August of 2011. Correct. Tell me what happened.
All right. I purchased the car on August 2nd, 2011. It was certified pre-owned. It was in excellent condition. As buying the car certified pre-owned, it meant it underwent a 156-point inspection. I drove the car for about 4.5 months. I loved it. And then on December 16th, the car was rear-ended by Lauren and pushed into the car in front of me. The damage was extensive.
What happened? How did the accident happen?
We were coming to a stoplight, and I didn't realize that the traffic was stopped.
What force did you hit his car? Well, how fast were you going?
I believe I was going like 35.
And there was no braking at all?
I braked, but I braked too late.
And you had a 3-car pileup?
So I braked, and then I think he was too close to the car in front of him, so then he got pushed into it.
He was parked. He was at a light.
I was stopped.
He was stopped at a light. How much distance do you want him to keep between him and the car in front of him at a light?
Yeah, so I hit.
That's not like driving and you're following too closely. That's just you sending everything. So with 3-car accident?
Yeah, the car in front of me.
Now, my understanding is that her insurance covered your damages.
Correct.
As in paid the auto body repair place to repair your car.
That's
in fact, they paid like $13,000.
It was a little over $12,000.
A little over $12,000. So after that, sometime after that, you get a light bulb over your head and decide, wait a minute, I want diminished value, which I didn't sue for. I didn't claim when I made the claim.
Right.
All right, tell me about that.
About a year and a half after the accident, last summer, I decided to look into buying a new car. And I realized, with this accident on the record, it most likely would show up and I would get less value for the car. Because the car, when I got it back, it was repaired beautifully. It drove great. I didn't notice a difference. And, only having the car for 4.5 months before the accident, I just kind of wanted to enjoy it. But
what made you think of it all those months later?
When I went to go sell the car.
Oh, you were going to sell the car.
When I thought about buying a new car, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I would
so you take the car into CarMax.
Right.
And they make you an offer.
Yes.
And it's kind of low.
Yeah, surprisingly low.
What did they say?
They said $55,000, or $5,500, I'm sorry.
Well, that wouldn't be low. That'd be awesome. You should have taken it and run.
Yeah, $5,500, which, I know cars devalue every year, but after a year and a half to 2 years.
What's the Blue Book value for your car?
The Kelley Blue Book value for a trade-in and good value was $9,133. I also did an Edmunds.com appraisal, and a clean trade-in would be $7,937. So the way I found the number 2,700 was by averaging those two, subtracting it from the offer that I got from CarMax, $5,500. That gave me $3,035. I subtracted 10% because I know in buying cars, just like any major property, you can talk to people, talk them down, work with them. So I subtracted 10%.
So you feel that when the day comes that you're going to sell this car, that you're going to end up getting $2,700 less because of the severe damage that it went through, despite the fact that it was fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, have you talked to your insurance company to tell them that he's come, Freddy Krueger rises again?
No, I didn't.
Just teasing you. You called it, I love what you say in your complaint. You say it's one of the best kept secrets in the insurance industry. So you just came to court and responded to his lawsuit, you didn't let your, I mean, that's what you pay insurance premiums for, is
Right.
to let them handle this stuff.
Right. No, I didn't go through insurance.
Okay, you still have the same insurance?
Yes.
Okay, the whole idea behind paying these premiums is that you don't have to worry your pretty little head. You let them worry their massive corporate, suits worry about this, because that's what you're paying the premiums for. Let them figure it out and work it out with him, like they did the last time. Okay, so I agree that, diminished, he's right, it is one of the best kept secrets in the insurance industry. When you can prove, I assume that at $13,000 there was extensive frame damage.
Yeah. Well, there was the radiator support, which is in the front of the car, was damaged and needed to be replaced, which is a frame
Yeah,
part.
but the stuff that gets replaced was replaced, so that's not the issue. It's
Right.
diminished value on the car because it's been in a car accident, and usually that's not because it was in a tiny little scratch, it's because it was in a major league accident. Do you have pictures of the car after the accident?
I do. I have.
Because they had to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
At 35 miles an hour?
Yeah. The front and rear of the car had massive damage. The photos show that the rear impact crushed the trunk, which needed replaced. The exhaust was crushed as well, the full exhaust all the way to the bent pipe in the front of the car. Both bumpers, both headlights, taillights, every panel in the car. Some of the photos show that.
So you're trying to figure this out by saying, all right, CarMax, which is a big, car. I mean, CarMax is usually the lower quote, right? Because it's easy. You walk in,
Right.
you drive in. It's like McDonald's.
Yeah.
You drive in, they give you a quote, you drive out, and then you use it everywhere else. So you got a very low quote out of a place that is dealing in volume, and which is great. I'm not knocking CarMax. It has, for people who don't feel like going through effort, it's great. And you are deducting that from the Blue Book values it should be. But what if you were to get more if you sold it on your own?
So, should the plaintiff be able to get the cost of the diminished value of his car when he turns around and sells it, even though his car was fixed fine?
I think she should because
He should.
or he should because it was in mint condition. It would have stayed in mint condition had this not happened.
Right, but the car runs fine and everything else.
Absolutely, they should get the price because it loses the value. So as soon as it gets hit, that loses the value.
Yeah, but you don't know what it's going to be like when he turns around and sells it. It could be a junker by the time he does that.
Well, if it was diminished value, they should be able to sue the person. If they were completely not at fault and the insurance company agrees with that, then they should be able to be compensated for that loss.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I agree with you that you are going to get somewhat less. I don't agree with your math. So this is kind of a rough justice kind of thing. So watch me do a little rough justice here. And what I find is that there is, by the way, the purchase price of the vehicle was $22,000?
It was valued around a little over $20,000.
You paid 19, I'm sorry, you paid
Right.
19.
Yep.
Yeah. I find that you are entitled to diminished value in the amount of $1,500. And this is something that your insurance company should cover, by the way, so go ahead and call them as soon as you walk out. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
All right, so the plaintiff has collected against the defendant here, not everything he sued for, but what do you think of this?
I think it was fair. I don't think he should have gotten the $1,500, but should have gone through insurance next time.
This is interesting about this best kept secret
Yeah,
of the
never
insurance
heard of it
companies.
before.
It's not a secret anymore. Right?
No.
What were you doing how come you didn't notice the traffic had stopped?
I'm not sure.
Where was your head at that moment?
It was somewhere else. It wasn't on the road.
Where is it now?
It's focusing on the road when I'm driving.
Okay, all right, right down there.
Thank you.
Right down there.
Thank you.
All right,
That's fine.
where's your head coming out of the courtroom here?
I'm pretty pleased with the results. I wish I got a little bit more, but it'll at least help when I go to resell my car.
Could you tell us more about this secret?
It's just you can get more value from your car. If you're in an accident, after the damages are repaired, you still lose value when you go to resell it.
Right, so it's the difference between what you could have resold it for and what you now can resell
The market
it for.
value before and
Insurance
after.
companies pay for that.
They do.
All right.
Yes.
Harvey, what do you think?
Well, the judge said that some insurance carriers will cover diminished value. Not all of them do. As a matter of fact, the one I have does not, and mine is a major carrier.